Guys, welcome to Blast. And tonight, we're going to be talking about a pattern so obvious, it's actually insulting. They think we wouldn't notice. But every time the truth gets close, the footage always disappears. It doesn't matter if it's Epstein, the Vegas shooter, Washington County, or DC politics. Somehow the cameras, the servers, the backups, the cloud storage, the IT guys, the janitors, everybody suddenly forgets how the video cameras work. So let's get into it. Now, today, President Trump fires off a statement calling out 6 Democrat lawmakers for what he's calling seditious behavior. And he didn't mince words. He said that under the law, these kind of things can be punishable by death. And as you can imagine, the press jumped all over it. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, stands up there, calm as hell, and says basically, no, the president's right. They did release a video telling the uniformed military and intel personnel to refuse orders. Now, that's dangerous messaging to 1.3 million active duty service members, right? Play the clip.
This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to, because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer, and notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
But the president has frequently, but Caroline, can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
can refuse an illegal order, which
but
is
they're suggesting, Nancy, that
the orders were illegal is what she says. Now, she's not wrong, because the 6 Democrats, Alyssa Slotkin, Mark Kelly, Chris Deluzio, Maggie Goodlander, and so on, put out a video telling the troops not to follow illegal orders under Trump. But listen to how they framed it, okay? This administration is pitting our military intelligence community against American citizens. Bro, what planet are these people living on? They're talking like they're resistance fighters in some dystopian fiction. And meanwhile, the guy they're calling dangerous is literally the commander-in-chief they're sworn to serve under. But here's the bigger picture, okay? Whether you agree, disagree, or not, this is how systems collapse. When politicians start publicly telling troops to refuse orders. That's not politics. That is what you call psychological preparation for chaos. It's conditioning. That messaging the world's most powerful military, that they can pick and choose commands. Think about this if it was under Biden, right? How many people would just want to walk off under Biden? What about the hokey pokey where troops got kicked out? So you can't have it both ways. That's the thing. Like, you have to be a realist. Whether you agree with the orders or not, are they illegal orders? Okay. And this is how countries implode from the inside. But trust me, this is just a warm-up. Because right after they accused Trump of being dangerous, something even more insane happened. The Department of Justice, led by none other than Pam Bondi, did a full reversal on the Epstein case. Okay. Just got signed off on by everybody. But let me remind you, just a few months ago, I looked it up, August 2024. I did a video about it that day because I was upset. The DOJ said they found no reason to reopen anything related to Epstein. There was no new information, no wrongdoing, nothing to see here. Kash Patel sat right there in front of Congress and said that he trafficked women, young women, to nobody, children to no one. Fast forward to right now, a reporter asked Pam Bondi why they are suddenly reopening the Epstein investigations. And she damn near hit glitches on the camera.
You will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency.
We have new information, followed the law, additional information, new information that has come forward. It was like watching a CIA handler whisper through an earpiece while unplugging the internet. She couldn't answer what had changed. That's the biggest question. What had changed? You closed the case. Kash Patel sat before Congress, said, no wrongdoing. Wouldn't say what the new information was. Wouldn't explain how the DOJ went from case closed to urgent new details in just a few months. You know what that tells me? They were pressured. They were forced the hand. And here's the pattern that always followed up, right? Whenever Epstein gets mentioned, whenever files are about to drop, whenever big names start sweating, oh, now we got to reopen the case. So now, because it's an ongoing investigation, we're not going to release the files. Bingo. We were wondering how this was going down because they got signed real quick. Trump signed off. All new information. New information. It's just like how footage always disappears. Epstein jail cameras gone. That 2 minutes. The guards asleep. The backup drives corrupted. Every angle magically went dark during the most high-profile self-deletion in modern American history. And now, let's get into the new one. Tyler Robinson, 2 News out in Utah, files a public records request. Hey, man, can we get that surveillance video of Tyler Robinson turning himself into the Washington County Sheriff's Office after murdering Charlie Kirk? Washington County replies, yeah, we have no records response to this request. Okay, weird. So the journalist asked for any footage, entering the building, being processed in the holding area, anything showing that he was actually even there. They get a second answer. We don't have the footage. The video is no longer available after our 30-day retention period. Check it out. So let me get this straight. A nationally covered murder suspect walks into the sheriff's office. Okay. And nobody thought, hey, man, we need to probably keep that video. Nobody archived it. Nobody flagged it. Nobody saved it for the investigation, maybe. Nobody sent it to the state or federal law enforcement. Hell, TMZ, when they were asked if anybody got the footage, they say, it is my understanding it was never sent out to any agency. I'm sorry, man. But come on, man. A high-profile political murder, and they treat the evidence like a TikTok video that auto-deletes. And here's the kicker. Multiple defense attorneys in Utah are now saying if the footage exists, it should have been preserved. And if it doesn't, or they're claiming it doesn't, it's extremely concerning. Well, you think? But this ties into a much larger pattern, and I want you to see it. Okay. This is where everything comes together. Do we have footage of Stephen Paddock bringing 23 rifles and thousands of rounds up to his hotel room in Vegas? And they only have footage of luggage, footage of him walking normally, footage of him using a valet cart. What we do not have is continuous hallway footage, the full 72-hour timeline, the service elevator footage, the bellhop interactions, the room entry video, footage of long cases for rifles. Vegas is the most surveilled strip of real estate in the United States. Casinos record everything 24/7, multiple angles, redundant backup servers. They don't just lose footage, but somehow the one series of videos that would end all conspiracy theories doesn't exist. It stacks up against the Epstein jail cameras footage, right? First off, we were told for years it failed. They didn't have it. The cameras were not working, but then it comes up, right? They said the backup drives that had vanished, right? Paddock's weapon transport footage missing. Epstein's files are blocked, then unblocked, then blocked, and now they're under a new investigation. Tyler Robinson's jail footage gone. Washington County can't produce a single frame. DOJ flip-flops and stutters on camera. 6 lawmakers telling the military to refuse orders. And Trump's now calling it sedition. The footage always disappears. If you've paid attention long enough, every single time, especially when the truth threatens someone powerful. I've talked about a Vegas shooter for years because to me it's one of the most biggest cover-ups in the world. And you could deep dive on that. I have before. But every time there's a moment where the public could see the unedited, unfiltered, raw evidence, something breaks, something fails, something gets overwritten, something isn't retained, someone falls asleep. It's never the footage of you jaywalking. It's never the footage of the guy who parked too close to the hydrant. It's never the mundane security tapes, right? It's always the footage that would shift the entire national conversation every time. Amazing how that works. So, tonight's theme is simple. You're not crazy. You're not some whacked out conspiracy theorist. The footage doesn't disappear every time it matters. That's not incompetence. That's what you call coordination, right? So, yeah, maybe they can hide the footage, hide the files, hide the motives, hide the timelines, right? But they can't hide the fact that most Americans are getting slower, sicker, and weaker, and that's by design, right? Every time we turn around. The big pharma, the empty hotel rooms don't make money, so empty hospital beds don't make them money, right? And it's why I'm going to talk about this. If we look at my video last night, breaking down men and so on, it's also dehumanizing women. If we look here, I don't know if you guys saw this, OnlyFans model Ari Kietz, I guess, was invited to the University of Washington to speak to Psych 201 class of 1,200 students. We are now, and I was joking. I mean, I wasn't joking. I was being serious, but I was saying it, in jest about OnlyFans last night's video. we have literal OnlyFans models going to go talk to college students. How did we get so far? How did we get so far in society, right? I mean, you look at the big picture here, talking about all the footage being vanished, the cover-ups, all the way down to college classes have OnlyFans, right? Right. It's crazy. It's the dehumanization, the psych, right? Now, before I get too far, what I want to talk to you about, because my homeboys over there at Black Forest Help, I want to talk about something that they're cutting a deal, right? Before we wrap up, let me tell you about something that actually works. Not the fake garbage sold by people who hate you, right? Not big pharma getting you addicted to meds, man. I was talking to my friend the other day, VA, just still shelling out pills to people, just shelling out pills, because anything natural, that doesn't make them money. So they don't want to help you. They want you addicted like a drug addict. And if you're a veteran, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, I've been a big proponent of Black Forest high flavanol cocoa. It's something I've been taking, and listen, this stuff does three things. The elites will charge you 10 grand for at a clinic. And the FDA just approved it, by the way. So good on our boy RFK Jr. He's trying. Listen, RFK Jr. is really trying. They are trying to tie this man's hands, but he's making things get done. He just won the NMN battle, and now FDA announced its qualified health claim for cocoa flavanols and high flavanol cocoa powder reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. So fantastic. He is keeping up his word. Okay. So the FDA approved it. So they're screwed on trying to get you, natural's the better way to go than pharmaceuticals. Okay. What it does is it releases stem cells from your bone marrow. Okay. Now it makes you 27% harder to kill. It floods your system with nitric oxide, real blood flow, real performance, and real oxygen delivery. So if you ever took those nitric oxide supplements when you were younger, I'm sure you did if you lifted weights. I did too. That make you feel like this, doesn't make you feel like that. All right. This is like ordering stem cell therapy and then putting chocolate syrup on top of it, right? But not real. You're not going to go get injected stem cells in your body in Mexico like the elites do, right? This actually tastes good and doesn't cost a freaking mortgage payment or a 50-year mortgage payment. If you think I'm exaggerating, the FDA literally just signed off on a qualified health claim stating that it can, okay? It can help support health, heart health, and reduce cardiovascular risk, right? Regular chocolate has 50 milligrams of dead flavonols. Black Forest powder has 1,200 milligrams of pharmaceutical-grade flavonols, right? They ran a 21,000-person human study at Harvard, and the result was so strong, the FDA had no choice but to approve it, right? And they never do that, right? 6 months ago, I started taking it. Man, I couldn't remember names, right? And so on, right? My cardio increased, right? I have high blood pressure genetically. It tremendously helps that. I just mix it in my coffee every morning. That's what I do. Makes it taste good, and I get that benefit of the flavonols, right? Memory sharp, energy up, man. You'll wake up like a teenager. You know what I mean, guys? Running stairs 2 steps at a time like children, okay? Black Forest uses the finest cocoa flavanol concentrate in the US, okay? So anyway, I'm gonna play a quick video real quick.
End of one of the best medicines around is 50 grams to 100 grams of 75% or more dark chocolate. Brain health as well, cardiovascular health. They do studies where they've put cocoa into volunteers. That means students usually.
It's always students.
So young kids.
They're bringing the OnlyFans girls there too.
And they were able to show changes in the blood flow within minutes, certainly within an hour of eating cocoa.
And that's true. I've studied all these products tremendously, and that is true. Black Forest just went live with their biggest deal of the year. Buy one, get one free across the entire store. It ends in 48 hours, and better jump on it. That's all I got to say, okay? Cocoa prices have been skyrocketing around the world as well as everything else, so I don't expect this deal to probably ever happen again, right? And if you've been thinking about trying it, definitely try it now, okay? But I'll put a pinned comment link below so you can check it out. Now, Another thing, notable mention, Dan Crenshaw. Congressional Republicans have banned Dan Crenshaw from international travel for 3 months after an alcohol-related episode during a delegation trip in Mexico. Didn't he threaten to like kill Tucker Carlson? I mean, I can't stand Dan Crenshaw's a rhino, like most of these guys. It's kind of like WWE, how all these things are said all year long, and then they just fall off and don't really do anything. Dan Crenshaw was following him on the stock tracker, dude. He was investing in all the liberal stocks. You know, these folks are about nothing but making themselves rich. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this information, man. The Tyler Robinson, obviously, we've speculated about Tyler Robinson a ton. You know, it didn't even help. I saw the other day that Sean Ryan had the lead, I guess, security head guy on a show. Man, that caused more to me. That caused more smell like cover up more than ever. Okay. I'm hearing now people are stating that they're looking into a possible second shooter and so on. Man, we knew this. We knew this stuff. But it's always a cover up, man. Every time you turn around, it's a conspiracy. That's why this stage in the game, I would almost question everything the media, the government tells you. I really would. Is Project Mockingbird. Okay. Everything's a psyop. Everything's here to fool you, trick you, propaganda, and manipulate you. Anyway, guys, I want to share all this information. Go get that link below. 48 hours, buy one, get one free. Stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Black Scout.